Hi, it's Aaron Solly from Engage Coaching Group. Today is Mental Health Awareness Week in Canada, and it's actually Mental Health Awareness Month in the United States. And so this week I'm going to be posting a variety of different things on and off, and even throughout the month with regard to mental health, because it's something that's true to my heart. I've experienced depression. I experienced it for about a 15-year period from high school into my mid to late 30s, and so I've gone through this experience and really want to make an impact, because my mission is to ultimately, reduce the number of people impacted by mental health challenges and depression in Canada and ultimately the world at large, because the World Health Organization states that depression, it's the leading cause of disability in Canada. And so I want to make an impact there, because back in 2011, I was in probably the deepest, darkest depression of my life. And I was literally in the basement of a townhouse that I owned at the time on an ongoing basis in the evenings. And this basement was very plain vanilla. There was nothing on the walls. It was a basic beige color on the walls, but no pictures, nothing hanging on the walls. There was boxes and, clutter that were just kind of spread around that hadn't been put away. And in one corner of that basement room, I had a desk and a computer. And so in the evenings, I would be sitting at that desk and looking for resources, books, videos, therapists, all different types of things and tools that would help me to get out of this depressed state. Because at that time, I was working for a financial institution and I was not happy. I was, my passion to help people just wasn't connected. I had this drive to be able to help people get better at managing their money, and the positions that I were in they just felt like it was more about, getting the next new client. And it felt like I never had time to actually build a relationship effectively and get to know my clients in a way where it wasn't about, the next service to sell them. I wanted to be able to let's just get to know you and let's move through some of the challenges you're facing. So it was really tough for me, because my values just were not in alignment with what was going on there, and my passion, my heart wasn't fully into it, and at the same time I was going through a separation, which eventually led to a divorce, and I had my oldest son was 2 at the time. And so I'm just, I'm feeling like, how am I going to, work with him around this and really support him, and what's the impact it's going to be on him, right? Because I felt really stuck. I felt numb and disconnected, and I just, and I ultimately was really sad and had trouble expressing that, but I just didn't want, what was going on for me to have a big impact on him. And so it wasn't until, in that basement, I actually decided to ask myself a different question, because I kept asking myself, why is this happening to me? Why am I going through this? Why am I feel like I'm losing everything and I'm not happy in my job, and just life just doesn't feel good? I started asking myself, what is this for? Right? And starting to look at what is the lesson that's actually going on here? What am I, what's the opportunity to learn from this? Right? And that's when things started to shift. That's when I found a therapist that actually I connected with, that actually wasn't just a talk therapist. Was a therapist that had me work on my experience. What was I experiencing in my depression? What was what did I actually want to experience? And then that led me to a workshop that just allowed me to actually feel like myself again, and allowed me to feel my feelings, because there's a lot of feelings that I wasn't actually accessing. And this workshop I did, a weekend workshop, just it opened things up for me, and I felt like I kind of found my true self, if you will, again. I was able to connect to who I wanted to be, and that led me to doing a counseling program part-time in the evenings and weekends, and this is all through an organization called Clear Mind International. And that I had no intention of becoming a counselor. I had every intention of just working on myself and getting better at how can I be a better communicator, how can I get better at working through my depression, and what's actually, like, what's the root of what's going on here. And that, so by 2015, I had a diploma in transpersonal psychology from Clearmind. And in 2017, my book, Engage, Connect, Grow, which I'm going to share a little bit about with you today. I may look backwards on the video here, but Engage, Connect, Grow was launched and it became an Amazon bestseller in 2017. And today I get to help my clients and get to go into organizations and companies and talk about mental health. Because back in the 90s, it was a secret when I was going through it. I kept it a secret from my family that I was seeing a therapist and my friends, and I really struggled with that because I wanted to tell somebody, and I just felt like it just wasn't, I wasn't able to. And so today, what I love about today and having Mental Health Awareness Week and Mental Health Awareness Months and that is that the conversations are happening, right? And people are, starting to become more and more comfortable with at least talking about it in the workplace and at home, in coffee shops. And I think it's so important. The first step is really to be able to just get out what's going on for you, right? And to know that it's safe, because that's a big part of it, is to know that if I'm going to share with somebody that I'm going through a really tough time right now, that I feel safe in doing that, and there's trust in being able to do that. So this is really passionate. I'm passionate about helping people with regard to mental health, and they're going through high stress and not connected to their career and having communication challenges whether it's in their career or at home. So one thing I want to do today was just share some of my journal entries, because one key tool that I found worked really well for me, and it may work well for you if you're not doing it already, or maybe you are doing it and it works, is to journal. There's actual research out there that shows that journaling actually helps from a physical health perspective. It can improve your immune system. It can actually improve liver function. It's amazing what just writing out your struggle and even writing out what's going well for you, right? It's not just about the struggle, but everything that's going on, to be able to just write it out, because writing actually allows you to access the visual side of learning, the kinesthetic side of learning, and the auditory side, because you're hearing yourself write as you're doing it, right? So it's really powerful, and it's really simple. It doesn't have to be a complex, some big thing. A tool to use. Journaling can be really powerful in that way. So I want to share with you a couple journal entries with regard to mental health and my depression. And I thought it might be beneficial just to, if you're going to, if you're journaling now and it feels like you have to follow certain rules, like there's no rules with journaling. You can do whatever you want with it. You can paint it. You can, I'm involved with doing art journaling workshops with Frida Lombard, sorry, pronounced that wrong. And so journaling with painting and creativity can be really, really powerful. So here's one of the journal entries, and this is from 1999. Okay, what does depression feel like? Everything seems very dark and dreamy through my eyes. I don't feel like the same person that I was when I was in Kamloops. I lived in Kamloops at the time. Work is more of a routine than a challenge. I look forward to coming home and lying on the couch and doing nothing. What happened to my free, caring mood? Is it the big city blues? Back then I had moved to Vancouver and was dealing with the rain and not used to not having more blue sky and sunshine. I want to go somewhere hot and sunny all the time. I don't like the clouds anymore. I feel less about myself. I feel like I have become more dependent on others to make me happy. I'm a good person, and I don't even have close to being bad. The only thing that sucks is everyone I know lives even further away. I think it's too good. I had it too good in Kamloops, and now things seem dull in comparison. So I was dealing with that struggle of moving to a new city. And the weather down in the Lower Mainland here is a lot different than in Kamloops, where the sun shines a lot more. And and just feeling like I, wasn't myself, and just really struggling with, this the clouds, literally, and also I felt like I had a cloud in my head whenever I was in a depressed state. It felt like there was this gray cloud always there, and it was like blocking me from feeling happy and good. So here I'm going to skip ahead now to 2011. So that was 1999. So here's a journal entry from 2011. And in my book, what I do is it's a workbook, and it's 52 lessons, a variety. A lot of it's journal entries that I've written, and I guess my promise to a reader of my book is it's going to invite you to utilize journaling, and be able to recognize the shifts that can happen from doing it by just reading my own journal entries from the. It doesn't mean it's going to take from that year of a gap to do that, 12-year gap, but it just shows that there's power in it, because there's all kinds of wins that I had along the way from 1999 to 2011, and it can benefit yourself if it's something that you're going through. So here is December 31st. So this is actually the end of the year, 2011. Hello, depression. It's about 30 minutes left. Yeah, there's about 30 minutes left in 2011, and I wanted to thank you. You've taught me so much in 2011 and previous years. You've shown me how I don't want to live my life. You've shown me how easy it can be to lose what I cherish. You have shown me how it feels to do work solely for money. You have shown me what it's like to not have a social life or romantic life. You have allowed me to experience anxiety and nervousness. You have brought thoughts into my mind that I didn't think existed. You have shown me what it's like to feel numb, emotionless, and heartless. It's made me realize that it's not how I want to feel. I'm viewing it as an opportunity to begin living for the moment with my heart in full force. Because of this, I will no longer require your services at this time. I desire to be full of light and warmth, peace and joy. I now know I am never alone and can live anxiety-free. Thank you for the time you've spent showing me this. What are your thoughts about this? So in this journal entry, I actually asked a question to my depression, and here's how it responded. I'm not completely surprised. However, I do feel that we've become so close over the years. It feels like you want to be rid of me and never want to hear from me. I thought we would spend more time together. And then I responded, it sounds like you really care about me. Would you want to see me live the best possible life? And the depression said, yes, of course. As down as you have been, I never wanted to hurt you and see you harmed. I know deep down this day would come. I didn't think it would be this soon. I will do as you wish. I will leave your aura, your body, your space, and allow you to receive light and joy. You will be able to focus better. Your memory will noticeably improve. You will find no need for medication. This is my gift for you for 2012 and beyond. And I responded, thank you, depression. I appreciate everything you've done for me. Take care and bring more awakenings to others you meet. So that just gives you an idea of, I'm just gonna put this book down here, how depression can be a gift, right? There's gifts in it. If it's something you're struggling with, there's actual gifts there. And sometimes it can be really hard to see those gifts because they're hidden behind maybe that cloud, that gray cloud, but there's amazing gifts that are there. And if you're a leader, if you're in a workplace situation where maybe you haven't gone through depression, but you're noticing that there's people in the workplace that are, or you're aware of it, one thing I'd encourage you to do is just to be there with them and just let them know that you're there if they need help, right? One of the things that I found challenging when I was going through it is that a lot of people were wanting to just fix it, right? To come in and just make me better, right? And that's it's amazing to have that support, but a lot of the journey with the depression is to just know that help is there, and so to let somebody know that you're there if they need help, and to actually, the key thing for me was to actually step in and ask for help myself. If I allowed everybody else to do everything for me, and this could be just simple things like doing the grocery shopping, like at home, right? Like grocery shopping, doing the dishes, and at the workplace, maybe taking up some of the administrative work that I had or what have you, right? That actually kept me in the depression longer because there wasn't the empowerment to just allow me to step into it. And so, yeah, so I would encourage you, if you're, whether you're going through depression or if you know somebody is, just know that there's gifts in it. Be gentle with yourself and the others around you, and just have a conversation this week. If you can, if you feel comfortable, have a conversation with somebody. And if at the end of the day that you don't feel comfortable doing that, just journal. Journal about your experience with mental health, whether it's impacted you or you know of people that it's impacted in your life, and just write about whatever comes up. The good, the challenges, the barriers, the questions you have. Let's get curious about mental health, and let's create let's continue to create a community that's in organizations that are just embracing it. Because one thing that I would, part of my vision is, what if, because I grew, in the companies I work with, Toastmasters was coming in and helping people with public speaking, and I've done Toastmasters. I spent a full year working on my presentation skills there, and I've done additional work to overcome the fear of public speaking. But imagine if in the workplace there were support groups for mental health, where once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month, whatever works best, it would be a safe environment that people could come to and just share what's going on, and not experience judgment, not have any fear of losing their job, but to be able to just sit in a room of other people that they work with and just allow everybody to just hear them, right? And to move forward from there, to feel whatever feelings come up, anger, joy, happiness, sadness, whatever it is, to just feel safe to do that. And it may seem like a crazy idea, but there's a lot of the ideas over the years that have seemed crazy at first, and they're actually embraced today, right? There's now mental health, there's companies that train people to be mental health first aid attendants. So if somebody's going through a mental health challenge versus an injury in the workplace, but it's more of a mental health challenge is going on, that companies can train people to be mental health first aid attendants, which I think is just amazing. It's so cool that companies are doing that. And like I said, like if you get a bunch of leaders, leaders of a big bank in a room and just actually talk about what's going on, like imagine what could happen there, to get the feelings out, to start feeling things, and to have real conversations, not conversations that are about the bottom line or about the market growth of the organization, but what is the sense, like what is the feeling that's going on in the organization? How do we want to experience ourselves as a leadership team, as an organization? And let's bring that to our clients and to our communities in the world, versus just trying to find the next market to tap into and drive business in that, right? So I really thank you for your time, and like I said, this is something I'm passionate about, and would love to hear your experiences about mental health, and what things that you may be doing in your community, in your company, to help have those conversations and to make things like depression, ultimately, I don't know if it's possible, but maybe it could be, maybe we could eliminate it. Imagine that, imagine that crazy idea. We could make it just go away. Wouldn't that be something? All right. Have yourself a fantastic day, a fantastic week, and we'll talk to you soon.